pawb, croeso i Mathemateg Miss Cati. Heddiw rydym am gwblhau problemau arian, lle mae angen darganfod y newid ar ôl prynu rhywbeth. Good morning, welcome to Miss Cati's Maths. Today we are going to be solving many problems where we are required to calculate the change given. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got a couple of things that I've jotted down on my piece of paper. The question is in Welsh. I am going to translate it into English. But I just want to walk through the different things that I've got on my page to start with. So mae gen I chydig o bethau ar y tudalen yn barod cyn i ni gychwyn y cwestiwn heddiw. So ar yr ochr dde'r tudalen heddiw, on the right hand side of this page, I've got a list of things that are being sold and their prices that are next to them. Mae gen I rhestr nwyddau sy'n cael ei werthu fan hyn a'r prisiau sy'n gyd-fynd hefo pob un o'r nwyddau yna. Yr un cyntaf mae gen i'r rhwbiwr, I've got a rubber sy'n cael ei werthu am 40 ceiniog for 40 pence. Y sharpener, miniwr am 36 ceiniog for 36 pence. Pren mesur am bint, a ruler for £1. Beiro am 1 pint 60, a biro for £1.60, a phensiliau lliw am 4 pint 20 ceiniog, and coloured pencils for £3.20. Now, when answering these money questions, you will get a list like this, usually at the top of a page or at the top of a question. Obviously, they're not all going to be stationary. They usually are fruits or different things like that. But that's just an idea of what they would look like. So, dych chi fel arfer yn gael rhestr fel yna uwch ben problemau arian, uwch ben y cwestiwn mwyn I chi gallu ei ddefnyddio I ateb y cwestiwn. A nid yn unig... Iawn, hefyd ar ben y cwestiwn heddiw, mae gen I rhyw allwedd yn hyn sy'n andros o bwysig I gofio. I've got, at the top of this page as well, I've got a key. That's very, very important to remember that when we are completing money problems, okay? And that key tells us that 100 pence, 100 ceiniog, yn hafal I 1 pint. That 100 pennies is the same, it's equal to £1. Okay, that's very important to remember. Nawr, rydw I am gerdded trwy'r cwestiwn, dwi am darllen y cwestiwn ar lafar I chi yn y Gymraeg, ac wedyn mi fydda I yn trawsieithu i'r Saesneg. I'm just going to read the question out in Welsh for you, and then I will translate it to English. Okay, so just zoom in here. Mae James yn prynu rhwbiwr a miniwr. Mae'n talu gyda darn o 1 pint. Faint o newid y mae'n ei dderbyn? So that translates directly to James buys a rubber and a sharpener. He pays with a £1 piece. How much change does he receive? Okay, so these are known as two-step questions, which means that you have to do 2 steps, 2 things to answer them correctly. Now that's very, very important because a lot of people get stuck and only complete one part of the question. So with these sort of questions, when you're asked to find out the change, it is 2-step. It's a 2-step question. Okay? Mae 'na 2 gam i'r cwestiwn yma. Mae hwnna'n andros o bwysig achos mae lot o blant yn cael ei drysu a dim ond cwblhau hanner o problem ac felly dydyn nhw'n cael marc ar gyfer y cwestiwn yma. Felly, os mae rhywun yn gofyn I chi ffeindio allan y newid, cofiwch mae angen gwneud 2 gam I cyrraedd yr ateb. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you what those 2 steps are now. So this question has told us that James has bought a rubber and a sharpener, and you need to make sure they haven't told us the price of these things in the question. That's very important. Mae James wedi prynu rhwbiwr a miniwr, a fel y gwelwn yn y cwestiwn, dydyn nhw heb di deithio ni faint mae'r rhwbiwr a'r miniwr yn y cwestiwn y hun. Mae hwnna'n andros o bwysig, achos maen nhw'n disgwyl I chi ffeindio allan hwnna chi'ch hun. Okay, they are expecting you to find out how much these 2 items cost altogether by yourself. They want you to do that independently. Okay, so that is the first step that we have to do. We have to find out how much the rubber and the sharpener costs. Mae angen I ni ffeindio allan faint mae'r rhwbiwr a'r munud yn ei gostio. Okay, felly dwi'n edrych ar yr rhestr yn hyn, y rhestr prisiau, the price list yn hyn. Okay. So the rubber was 40 pence, 40 ceiniog. So dwi am sgwennu 40 ceiniog lawr fan hyn for the rubber. Mae'r miniwr yn costio 36 ceiniog. So I'm going to write that down. The sharpener costs 36 pence. Felly, y cam cyntaf ydy mae angen I ni ffeindio cyfanswm y nwyddau I gyd. We have to find the total of every item that James has purchased. And to find the total of something, we need to add. Okay, total is another word for adding something together. Okay, so if we remember back to our column addition videos, we can easily set it into a column addition like this. Now, just add my place value at the top of that. Does that look a bit familiar to you? I hope it does. So dwi wedi gosod y prisiau fan hyn mewn adio colofn fel nes I egluro mewn un o'r fideos gynhara Miss Cathy, a dwi wedi ychwanegu y gwerth lle uwch ben jyst er mwyn wneud o'n haws I ni medru darganfod yr ateb. Iawn? Felly dwi am gwblhau yr cwestiwn yma er mwyn ffeindio cyfanswm y nwyddau I gyd. Felly edrych ar unedau yn gyntaf. Mae gen I 0 adio 6. I'm going to look at the ones column first. 0 add 6 is 6. Rwan mae gen I mynd i'r degau. Mae gen I 40 adio 30 yn gwneud 70. Os da chi eisiau mynd ati I gwneud yr marciau fel mae Miss Cathy wedi gwneud mewn fideos arall, croeso I chi wneud. Dwi jyst heb di wneud tro 'ma achos mae gen I rhywbeth arall I wneud drws nesaf hefyd. Yeah, so I've just completed that 40 add 30 is 70. If you'd like to do the marks which I've demonstrated in my previous videos, please feel free. I just haven't done them this time because I'd like to move on to the next step. Okay, so we've just found out that the total of every item that James has purchased equals 76 pence. Mae'r cyfanswm, cost y nwyddau mae James wedi ei brynu fan hyn yn adio I greu 76 ceiniog. Felly dyna'r cam cyntaf wedi gwneud. That's the first step that we have completed now. Now please don't stop at this step. A lot of people stop at this step and they don't actually answer the question properly, okay, because we've only done half of it. Okay, os da chi'n stopio fan hyn, da chi heb wedi ateb y cwestiwn o gwbl, da chi mond I wneud hanner ohono fo. Felly mae angen mynd nôl i'r cwestiwn eto I ffeindio allan beth sy'n angen gwneud rwan. So mae'r cwestiwn yn gofyn faint o newid mae James yn ei derbyn. Okay, how much change does he receive? If he pays with a £1 coin for something that is 76 pence, how much change does he receive? And that is the second part of our question. Okay? So we're moving on to the second part of our question now, and that second part is all to do with this £1 that James has used to pay for the items. Okay, dyn ni symud ymlaen i'r ail rhan o'r cwestiwn yma. Hwn I gyd yn ymwneud gyda'r pence mae James wedi ddefnyddio I talu am yr hwbiwr a'r miniwr. Felly, dwi angen gweithio allan y gwahaniaeth sy'n rhwng y pence a'r 76 ceiniog. I need to find out the difference between the pound and the 76 pence that the items have cost. So, if we find out the difference of something, we need to take away. So, we have find the total, which is an adding hint, and we have difference, which is a subtraction hint. Okay, that's Miss Carty's top tip. If anyone asks you to find the difference, it is a takeaway question. So, if we remember back to our takeaway question, we need to put the highest value on top, which is the pound. Okay, I've put it underneath the hundreds because if we check up to the key at the top, we know that £1 is the same as 100 pennies. Okay, so dwi wedi sgwennu cant fan hyn, oherwydd, os dyn ni'n edrych ar yr allwedd uwch ben, mae 1 pint yr un fath a 100 ceiniog. Okay, so I've got the hundreds at the top because it is the highest number. And when we do a takeaway sum, we have to put the highest number on top. Dwi wedi rhoi y cant ar y top hefyd oherwydd wrth i ni dynnu rhifau, mae angen rhoi y rhif mwyaf uwch ben y colofn. Okay, a beth sy'n mynd o danodd ydy'r 76 ceiniog, sef cyfanswm y nwyddau mae James wedi prynu. And I've put the 76 underneath because that is the total of the things that James has bought. Okay, and now we move on to complete this takeaway sum. Now, I hope you remember how we answered these questions in a previous video. Gobeithio ydych chi'n cofio sut i ateb y cwestiynau yma mewn fideo blaenorol. Os ydych chi ddim, croeso chi stopio'r fideo yma rwan ac ewch yn ôl i wylio'r fideos am dynnu colofn. If you're not quite sure on how to complete column subtraction, feel free to stop this video now and go back and look for some of my instructional videos on column subtraction. Okay, but we're going to move on. So we're going to start with the ones column. Dyn ni am gychwyn gyda'r colofn unedau o hyd. Reit, mae gennau dim byd yn y colofn unedau a dwi angen tynnu 6. Wel, does gennau dim byd, does gennau digon o gwbl i dynnu 6. Felly, mae angen mynd drws nesa, ond mae gennau broblem. Does dim digon yn y decau chwaith. Okay? I don't have enough to take away 6 from 0 because I have nothing here to take 6 away from. So I have to go next door to borrow from Mr. 10. But we got a problem because Mr. 10 doesn't have any either. Now, remembering back to our video, we need to then go to Mr. 100. Cofio nôl i'r fideo blaenorol, da ni angen mynd i'r cant I 50. Felly, dwi'n benthyg 1 gan y cant sy'n gadael dim. Os dwi'n tynnu cant o cant, mae'n gadael dim ar ôl. Dwi'n rhoi y cant o flaen y 10, sy'n creu cant yn fan hyn. Ond dwi dal angen benthyg ar gyfer fan hyn, so dwi'n croesi'r 10 allan. Y cant, sori. Tynnu 10, sy'n gadael 90. A rhoi'r 10 o flaen yr unedau. Felly mae gennau digon o fan hyn, wen. Gennau 10 uned. What I've done is I've taken the 100 from the hundreds column, I've placed it with the 10. I still needed to borrow from the ones column, so I crossed out the hundreds, borrowed 10, which left 90, and placed it in the ones column. Now I've got 10 ones over here. Mae gennau 10 uned yn fan hyn, a dwi am tynnu 6. Sy'n gadael 1, 2, 3, 4 ar ôl. I've crossed out 6, which is left 4. Okay. Symud ymlaen i'r colofn degau. Mae gennau 90. A dwi'n tynnu 70. I had 90, I've taken away 70, which is left 20. 20. Nawr mae gennau dim cant I dynnu o gwbl, so dwi'n gadael y colofn yn amwag. I've got nothing in the hundreds, so I leave that column blank. So, we've come up with an answer. So the answer to the original question is 24 pence, 24 ceiniog, oherwydd dyn ni wedi tynnu 76 ceiniog oddi wrth y pint mae James di gwario, sy'n gadael 24 ceiniog. The answer is 24 pence because we have taken the 76 away from the pound that James has spent, which has left 24 pence. I hope you found this video helpful. Please do remember that it is a two-step problem when we are finding change. If you'd like to leave any more requests, please let me know and I'll try and get them done as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.